Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about the new Anastasia Beverly Hills holiday collection, specifically the Prism palette, the blush palette. I did not purchase the highlight palette, but I did purchase the lipstick, the liquid lipstick trio, mini trio. So those are the things that I'm going to be giving you first impressions on today and using in my tutorial. I have said in the past that I don't love doing first impression videos, but then I feel like I have to correct myself a little bit because it's mostly with products like foundations and skincare items that I'm really vehemently against doing first impressions on, because I just think that they're not that helpful, because you need to use a foundation over the course of several days to really know how it performs. Are you gonna break out? Are you gonna, is it gonna wear the same in different environments? Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I think first impressions are okay when it comes to things like eyeshadows and blushes, and I just know a lot of you are so tempted by these products and wanna know what they look like, do they blend? There was a lot of issues with Anastasia's previous eyeshadow palette, and I'm sure you all know, with Subculture. I did not buy that palette. The colors really didn't interest me, to be honest. I know a lot of people think that Prism looks very similar, but I don't know, as an artist, this one really caught my eye, whereas Subculture really didn't. I don't know. It's just, it's, you know, the way your eyes and your mind work. Some things you're drawn to and some things you're just not. So as I already mentioned, I'm doing a tutorial for this look right here using the Prism palette. This is what it looks like. I will time stamp where you can skip to if you just want to see swatches. I'm also going to be using the Blush Kit, as well as showing you all the shades of this lip set. So in this tutorial, you're going to be seeing me using these products for the first time. So these are my first impressions of everything as it's happening. So if you're interested in seeing the tutorial and the swatches and just my overall first impressions of these products, then please continue to watch. So I have primed my eyes already with a little Too Faced Shadow Insurance, and then I went over that just to even out the discoloration on my lid with a little bit of my concealer. So when I was blending out my under eye concealer, I took what remained on my beauty blender and just patted it on my lid, and then set everything with powder as usual. I do have a full foundation routine that I can link to if you're interested in seeing that. So I think I'm gonna start with Unity, using the smaller end of the brush that comes in the palette. I don't know if you can see, it has a little bit of kick up, but not a lot. It might be too yellow for where I'm gonna be putting this, but I guess we'll find out. Yeah, it's a little bit too yellow for what I want. So let's try Lucid. Okay, that's still a little bit more yellow than I would normally put underneath my brow, but let's just go with it. I'm also gonna put Lucid into my tear ducts. I'm gonna flip the brush around and I'm gonna go into Lure. And I am going to place this into my crease. I think today I'm gonna do a halo eye. So I'm gonna bring it into the inner corners and the outer corners. So I'm putting this on the outer corner, then kind of swinging it over and bringing it into the inner. I zoomed in so you can see a little bit better. Just doing the same thing on the other side. Now I'm going to take one of my favorite brushes for doing a halo eye. This is a Smith 253. I like it because it kind of comes to a point, which is helpful for getting, again, the inner corners and the outer corners. So I'm going to go into Parallel, which is like this matte chocolate brown. And I'm going into the inner corners, keeping the center portion empty. and the outer corners. This time I'm not bringing it through the crease. And I think this one is picking up a plummy tone simply because I put it over that lure, which does have some purple to it. But this appears to be a true chocolate brown, really nicely pigmented. Now I'm taking a clean Sigma E25 and I'm just kind of blending it out. Now I am taking the brush and going across the whole lid. So I'm making little circles, blending that out, blending the inner portion out, and then taking it into the crease. So circles over here, circles over here, circles in the middle. Now I'm taking a Morphe M506 and I'm going into the shade Osiris, doing the exact same thing I just did with parallel, inner and outer corners. And so far, hardly any kickback, not very powdery, not having any of the issues people seem to have had with subculture. Now using a MAC 242 brush and some Fix Plus, I'm going into the shade Dimension, raising up my brows, and I am pressing and sliding the color down my lid. This gives you the most vibrant sheen from a shimmer color. I'm not doing the press and slide for a second time, I'm just tapping the color over it. First time I do the press and slide. And then the second time I do a patting motion. Now going back with the M506, I'm just blending out any harsh edges. I want that middle portion of the eye to pop a little bit more, so I'm going to take some of that Lucid shade, which is the shade we put under the brow, and I'm going to pop that too on the center. Now just for the sake of experimentation and playing around, I'm going to try using this Saturn shade in my crease as well. So I'm using a Morphe M330, tapping off my excess, raising my brows up, and just lightly taking that Saturn through the upper crease. Woo, that is really pigmented. Wow, so you barely have to touch this product to get that amount of pigment. Whoa. It's actually a little too much, I think. I'm gonna take another clean blending brush and soften it a little bit. That's better. So next I'm going to be taking my Trish McAvoy Black Gel Eye Pencil, tight lining my upper lash lines and also my lower lash lines. So I had to do the upper tight lining off camera because I have to get really close to a mirror and I have to use both hands to go like this. Now using a pencil brush, this is a MAC 219. I'm going back into Lure and blending out that black eye pencil. And then using the same brush, I'm gonna go back into Saturn and do the same thing, but a little bit lower. And then I'm gonna kind of connect the outer corners. Now just to show you how you can take this up even another notch, I'm gonna use that Obsidian, that matte black, because I really wanna see just how black this is. And I'm gonna place that right at the outer corners. It's not giving me a lot of fallout, which is good. I really don't see any actually. And I went with a really, really light hand, but so far, this is a really, really nice deep black. Oh, I like it. Nothing is falling down anywhere. Now I'm gonna curl my lashes and apply some Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir mascara. So here are the finished eyes with no false lashes. And these are the finished eyes using Flutter Lashes in Slayla. Now let's move on to the rest of the face. So because I did not purchase the highlight kit that comes with this collection, I'm just going to be using my Nicole Guerrero highlight kit. I'm going to be using the shade Glow Getter. I love that this blush kit has a mirror. To tie in the kind of orangey tone I ran through the crease, I'm going to use this shade up here in the top left called Coastline. This is very pigmented. I just barely touched my brush into the powder and then barely touched my cheek. So this color is really, really pretty. Very, very flattering color. So now it's time to choose a lip color. I think I'm gonna try the most neutral looking one, which is Hudson. So it didn't go on streaky at all. It was very, very smooth, even coverage. I would say this shade is like a mid-tone rosy brown. So this is the completed makeup look. Now let's do some swatching. So I'm starting with the top row, Lucid, Eden, and Unity. All very pigmented. Lucid, Eden, Unity. Next up we have Sphinx, Osiris, I'm not sure how I pronounce that one, and Sphere. And then finally there is Obsidian. So next up we have Dimension, Parallel, Pyramid, and Throne. None of these colors required any work at all to get that much pigment. I did not have to dig whatsoever. It wasn't that I barely touched them, but I just kind of moved my finger around real quickly, and this is the amount of pigment I was able to get. And then finally we have Saturn, Eternal, and Lure. I didn't get quite as much pigment from Eternal as I did from Pyramid or Throne. I would say Eternal and Sphinx, they're still quite pigmented, just not nearly as much so as Pyramid and Throne. Now for the blushes, we have Spoiled and Coastline. Coastline is the one I'm wearing. Spoiled looks like a little bit deeper version of Dandelion from Benefit. Dandelion doesn't really show up on me, but I have a feeling this one will. And then you have a darker pink called Breeze. This one is very, very silky. The top two were a little bit more powdery, but this one, again, this is Belize, very, very silky. It had a little bit of a different feel from these other two. And then Terrace has a little bit more brown to it. So once again, here are all the shades. So for the lip colors, you've seen Hudson. So here is a swatch of Hudson. Now let's try Bittersweet. Bittersweet appears to be deeper and, oh, a lot more brown. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this one's for me. I don't hate it. It's just really out of my comfort zone and probably not something I would wear outside of a photo for Instagram, or I don't know. So the staying power on these is pretty good because I'm having a hard time wiping it off with a makeup wipe. So I did touch up my lips with a little concealer and powder just to get rid of any excess color from the previous shade. So the last color in the set is called Dazed. So this is more of a straight up rose, whereas you've got like a rosy brown over here. So this is just a true rose color, no brown. Some people might even consider it like a red, but it's not as vibrant as a red. It has some pink undertones, and I would definitely say it's more of what I would consider a vibrant rose. So I definitely wouldn't say I hate this one either, but these last two colors are way out of my comfort zone and way out of what I typically wear. So I would probably say that for me, the only thing I sort of regret picking up is this set. You know, it's so hard to tell when you see photos on Instagram and even here on YouTube. It's not always exactly true to life color. This color, Hudson, I really do like, but these other two, they're not bad colors, and I don't even necessarily think, like I said, that they look that bad on me. I just don't think I'm gonna be reaching for them. So that's why I'm a little bit regretful on these. But I do love the blush palette and I do love the shadow palette. So I think those are definitely worth it. I had no issues whatsoever with blending, with pigmentation, with fallout with the Prism palette. I think there's like countless looks that you can do with this. So I am a happy camper. These products will be used constantly. I just know it. You will be seeing lots of different looks on my Instagram using these, and perhaps I will do another tutorial doing a different sort of look because there are so many options with this palette. So with that said, I hope you all enjoyed the video and that you found it helpful. Please give the video a thumbs up if you did like it. It really helps me out. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on my other social media platforms, which are Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Everything is the same. It's all Risa Does Makeup. I really, really appreciate you guys watching and subscribing, and for all of your love. Once again, to the city of Las Vegas in the last week, I am just doing whatever I can to stop watching TV and get my mind off of it. But your love and support and just the positivity, we all have to be really, really positive. Stay positive for our future, the future of our children, and the future of our country. And God bless everyone, and I'll see you very, very soon.